when world-centric consciousness begins to emerge in culture, as we can see it in the developed world through what we're labeling as a defined term, the postmodern worldview, the green worldview, it's an awakening to this fact that everybody counts. And from that perspective, you awaken to the problems of unrestrained globalization that is oppressing third world peoples in horrific ways, and of course environmental degradation and the threat of climate change and global warming. These are world level problems, and when you awaken to them, it's natural to focus on what's causing those problems and to try to vanquish or solve that, which is globalized modernism. But the reason that those problems are well identified and we get scolded, right? The society is scolded by postmodernism because of those problems. Postmodern culture is in many ways organized around raising consciousness about those problems so that people can appreciate those who've been marginalized or exploited and the fragility of the environment, et cetera. But that, in a sense, is like a little miniature version of this dialectic of progress and pathology, because by focusing on the problems of modernism, modernism is colored as being the cause of the dire straits that we're in as a civilization at the moment. But what that early level of world-centric awareness is blind to is the fact that modernism as a historical, cultural movement, as a stage, as now a globalized force, has produced more evolution than any worldview before or since. That for all its ugliness, for all of the apparent pathologies that are completely evident to anyone with a world-centric perspective, competition and free markets and all of the things which are sort of the part and parcel of what modernism's core values are about, that those very things are what produces the evolution. And so the problems and the pathologies are so tightly woven together that it's often difficult to see how it's the very successes that are creating the problems, and that eliminating the successes to solve the problems is actually de-evolutionary. See, that's how the evolutionary worldview is that's the new truth, I think, that can really connect and raise the consciousness of this powerful but currently impotent postmodern culture politically, by showing them a dimension of depth that reveals a solution to their problem in an evolutionary way that shows them their own blind spot. Now, the evolutionary worldview will have its own blind spot too as history progresses.
Eventually.
Yeah, we have our own dialectic, but let's start with what the next step is. Because if we focus on the step after, right, just like global governance in a sense is the step after, and if we focus on that, we trip on the step right in front of us. So the step right in front of us in terms of the evolution of politics is to harness the compassion and the vision and the power of postmodern culture. It's true. All the values of postmodern culture are amazingly important values. I mean, within evolutionary circles, we often, deride postmodernism, right? It's sort of, in some ways, we're pushing off against it. But our evolutionary opportunity is to help the postmodern worldview achieve the goals that it sets out for itself, because its key problem right now is that it's stymied. I mean, in the United States, consensus about global warming is actually diminishing, right? However, at this point, there are very few postmodernists who are willing to admit that they're actually failing. I always like to use my sister as a foil, and she doesn't mind. She's a hardcore leftist in the United States, a representative of postmodern culture, a person who's deeply compassionate. I talked to her the other day. She said, Obama is owned by the corporations. He's totally failed us. The corporate world is just going to crush us, and we're all doomed. And of course, I'm ready with my retort to say, well, it's actually we're the ones who have to become the change that we implore in others. And that is, as members of the more, first of all, we have to take a stand and say, yes, postmodernism and the evolutionary worldview that is the higher harmonic thereof is the most evolved form of culture that is yet to appear. It is the most inclusive. It is the most world-centric. It is the most spiritually fragrant in some important ways. And yet, it's stuck at the moment in this time in history. And so by pointing out those problems and pointing out that, that by moving the postmodern worldview itself into a more evolutionary perspective that can see, from an evolutionary philosophy itself can show this how modernism is both the problems and the pathologies are completely woven together, just like they are in every one of these worldviews. And in order to be able to tease those problems and pathologies apart, I mean the progress of the pathology, in order to separate those so you can preserve competition. In other words, a simplistic view is that we just need to cooperate more, right? Like that all this competition is bad, except that it's the competition of the free markets that has produced the evolution. I mean, you can't sort of separate that from the values of democracy and the values of enlightenment and the values that take us out of the mythic worldview that modernism originally arose from. So sort of rescuing modernism, trying to rescue the brilliant achievements of the Enlightenment from the culture that comes after it is really, I think, the task of our generation and the opportunity of the evolutionary worldview.